Okay, hello. What you're looking at is me having a bit of fun with MyPaint version 1. It's a natural media package. Um, I've done a rough sketch in it earlier before recording this video, and I'm just exploring the various brushes and such. I'm trying to get a nice gradation in the sky at the moment and struggling terribly. But as you can see, some of the tools have a lovely painterly quality. I later discovered that there is one of the best airbrush tools that I've ever seen, but I don't discover that until quite a bit later on, so bear with that, Sky, for a moment. But over 150 preset brushes, but the natural media brushes are by far the thing that appeals about this program. It's a very small profile. It doesn't take up a lot of resources on the computer. I'm working on an image which must be about 6,000 pixels by about 3,600. So we're 18 megapixel image here. Using layers copiously. You can see up in the right hand corner the layer menu is opened. I really like to use layers. It goes without saying that sort of using that depth and using layers to manage different sizes, different perspectives, different levels of haze. Layers come in really handy. Although I've probably learnt the use of layers more in Photoshop than anything else, but here they are in MyPaint. A lot of frustrating things about MyPaint. One of them is there isn't a general fill tool, which you saw me earlier, just filling the sky with a brush. But where it excels is in these strange little brushes that are all based on ellipses. This grass or the grass textures that I'm laying down are all very elongated ellipses. In fact, I think I used pretty much the same tool in the grass and the leaves, just by tweaking the brush specifications. You'll see a window, there it is, it's the brush controls. And that's really the most complex bit of the program, is getting a handle on those. Again, you don't need to adjust many of the brushes, if at all. There are simpler ways of adjusting them. And as I say, there are over 150 presets, more to download off the internet and off their website, which I will give you a link to below at some point. And a few little features that I've just fallen in love with. It is such an easy package to work with, extremely fast, and no computer program will replace pencil and paper or paint, but for those of us who are used to using natural media, producing images in a situation like this is a dream, really. I can see some artifacts that in there that I cleaned up later on. What else can I say about this? Yeah, now the tree there, I'm dropping texture into the trunk. Similar to Photoshop in layers, you can isolate the painted areas from transparent areas and set a brush so that it will only paint on paint rather than on transparency. So that's why it's so easy just to drop texture onto that trunk. Now you can probably see around the image is a dark grey area, and that's just it's a frame. It's an optical frame, though. I can paint beyond it. It doesn't restrict where I'm painting. It's just a guideline that you can set up in the brush settings, or switch on and off as you like. One of the amazing things about MyPaint is that you can just keep painting out of the boundaries, and when you come to save the image, it will save what you've painted and no more. You don't have to set up a limitation at the beginning. I think because I was running sort of rough and ready on this, I've put a lot of artifacts in just sort of by splashing paint around, if you care to call it that. So I think most of the time on this picture was after this video was just cleaning up my mess, really. So there's another way that it's like natural media as well, just me cleaning my brushes. I did have another go at the sky after this video as well. I'll post the finished version online somewhere. I'll put a link in the notes to this video, so you can enjoy or just see where it went. I will pull it into Photoshop later on, just because I'm more familiar with Photoshop in terms of analyzing the actual quality of the image. Normally I'd plan something out ahead. The most planning I did with this, you saw earlier, was a rough couple of lines just to place the tree and the hills. Just a very intuitive building of a composition. But this little guy needs to be there. You know, sort of it just feels right. So you'll see this guy change significantly over the next couple of minutes as I explore both using the tools and what I feel, how I feel the light should be there. I think I got a little bit out of control with these layers. I just layer and layer and layer. There are probably about 30 layers in this video already, but really easy to handle. The computer handles it wonderfully. I don't have the most powerful computer in the world. Most of my computers come from well-meaning friends who believe they've got an obsolete computer and give it to me. So if you don't have the whizziest, fastest computer in the world, give MyPaint a go. You'll be really impressed at how it handles the data. As I say, 18 megapixel image. In Photoshop, I wouldn't dream of using their brush system to do this kind of thing, just because of the amount of time it would take to upgrade the screen. Adobe could learn something from the airbrush in this package. It can go to huge sizes, lovely smooth gradations, and doesn't seem to cough or hiccup at all in my in this computer space. I suppose the other natural media package that everyone knows is Corel Painter. Now, hands down, I think Corel Painter is a much more powerful package. But again, if you haven't got the fastest computer in the world, it's not the quickest program to use. It certainly isn't. It certainly isn't the most efficient with memory or processing power. But I say, horses for courses. MyPaint is great for doing quick and dirty sketches. Now, there are a few features that I do find frustrating about MyPaint. One is not having a fill tool and a gradient tool. The other is the inability to cut and paste to move or transform a chunk of image. Now, I can see that that really forces me to concentrate on my accuracy and my planning, which is a great thing. But on the other hand, I'm working on a computer. I've got a cupboard full of oil paints and oil pastels and pencils and rubbers, and that's how I work when I'm working with them. When I've got a computer, I want the advantages of a digital environment, and cutting and pasting, like it or not, is something that everyone has got used to, whether they're drawing a picture or writing a letter to their aunt. So I'll persevere with this because I do enjoy using it. I enjoy the freedom and the speed. So all of those Corel Painter and Adobe Photoshop aficionados out there, you probably won't be planning to uninstall your favorite programs just yet, but I would say this is a very useful tool to have in any artist's program folder. Watch this space. Hopefully I'll get a few tutorials in later as well. Thanks for listening.